Welcome back to another episode of my channel. This video that I'm doing today is 2 days late. This is the England versus North Macedonia review for the 1-1 draw that took place on Monday night, which confirmed England as one of the 6 teams in pot, as one of the 6 teams in pot 1, which means we have the chance of getting an easier group, which means England have a chance of getting an easier group. We could still get drawn against the likes of Croatia, Netherlands and Italy, but we're most likely to get a much easier group than we would have if we were in pot, than we would have gotten if we were in pot 1 or pot 3 or pot 4, pot 2, pot 3 or pot 4. So great to see us clinch our spot. Great to clinch the final spot in pot 1 of the draw, which takes place in 10 days' time. But yeah, so this review's 2 days late, but that's mainly after I didn't do it Monday because after the game I was a bit tired and a bit exhausted after watching the game. I didn't do it yesterday because I woke up late and completely forgot that I didn't do it on Monday. So I'm here on Wednesday night doing it now. So we are going to be doing my England versus North Macedonia draw review for the 1-1 draw that took place on Monday night. Let's get on with it. I'm just going to quickly do my first half and second half notes on the game, which I forgot to do. Okay, I have done my notes, my first half and second half notes. We're going to start with my first half. So, the game against North Macedonia marked the first game in an England shirt for Man City's own Rico Lewis. So, first note to mention on the first half is Rico Lewis was the best player on the pitch. He was popping up in midfield, he was popping up in attack, he was playing in defence at left back, but he was popping up in midfield, he was popping up in attack, he looked comfortable on the ball, he basically looked comfortable game. And the only bad thing to take away from his performance, we'll get to a little bit late. In a little bit. But yeah, Rico Lewis was amazing. 2 great strikes in the first half from Declan Rice and Trent Alexander-Arnold that probably should have ended up in goal, which should have probably ended up as goals. So that was a bit disappointing. And the main talking point from that first half is the worst penalty decision ever. I mean ever. So basically, in the 41st minute, the ball is bobbling around the England box. One of the North Macedonia players lifts the ball into the air. Rico Lewis and a North Macedonia player jump for the ball. Rico Lewis gets his head on it, but after getting his head on it, his hand accidentally catches the top of the head of the North Macedonia player. And you're like, okay, good. Rico Lewis has done his job. He may have hurt the player in the process, but he's done his job. But the crowd, as soon as it happened, the crowd got up the seats, started making noise. They wanted a penalty, and they showed the replays, and people were like, when they showed the replays, the 2 commentators on the game. Well, one of the commentators, Dion Dublin, the former footballer, and one of the commentators, the former footballer Dion Dublin, said it was never a penalty. But the referee, VAR asked the referee and the VAR checked the possible penalty. Then VAR asked the ref to go to the monitor. The ref looked at it on the monitor, and you're like, okay, so the ref's looking at the monitor. It's probably going to be a penalty. But you see the replays again, and you're like, but then you see the replays again, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck, what the hell? That's not a penalty. The ref gives it, but Bardi, one of the North Macedonia players, takes the penalty. It's saved by Pickford, but then he puts in the rebound, and we go 1-0 down. So, the worst penalty decision I ever did. So basically, Rico Lewis and a North Macedonia player, after the ball bobbled in the box, a North Macedonia player lifted the ball into the box. Rico Lewis and a North Macedonia attacker went up for the ball. Rico Lewis got a head on it, but his arm accidentally caught the top of the head of the North Macedonia player that was popping him, and the ref, after looking at the monitor, gave a penalty, and it was completely bullshit. It was one of the worst penalty decisions ever. I like VAR personally, but how VAR and the referee could even consider that being a penalty, an accidental hand to the head, an accidental arm to the face / head, then football's completely screwed. But I like VAR, but that was one of the worst VAR calls I have ever seen. And it was the referee. You could clearly tell the referee that refereed the match the Macedonia game was only the referee's 5th international game. So you could tell by that shocking penalty decision that he is new to the game. But yeah, that referee should really be sued. He completely fucked England. We got the result. We got a draw, but he completely fucked us up. We were in control, and then the referee gives Macedonia a stupid penalty that's never a penalty. The reason why the referee gives a penalty is because of the crowd. The crowd's reaction to the accidental arm into the head into the face persuaded the referee, what's that word? Not persuaded. What's that word? The crowd definitely. What's the word? The crowd's reaction to the accidental arm into the face definitely helped the referee out. If the crowd doesn't make that sound, if the crowd doesn't make the volume, if the crowd doesn't make a big deal of the foul, it's not given as a penalty. Because the fans made a big thing about the foul and decided, oh, we're gonna talk and we're gonna get our team a penalty. If the crowd doesn't go crazy after the fouls, after the accidental hand to the face, the referee doesn't give a penalty to North Macedonia, and North Macedonia don't go 1-0 up, and we go into the half. We go into half time at 0-0, and then we come out of the blocks and just absolutely smash and dominate them. But because the crowd reacted to the penalty claim, the referee had no choice but to go to the monitor and side with the fans, and give North Macedonia a penalty. Macedonia score it, go 1-0 up in half time. If that penalty doesn't happen, if that penalty isn't given, then England, for me, go on to win the game easily, and that's what pisses me off. The referee had a decision to make, penalty or no penalty, and he made the wrong decision by giving a penalty, because 100% the penalty that he gave to North Macedonia is the worst penalty call ever. Personally, the referee, that ref shouldn't be mad. If that ref makes those sorts of bad decisions, then there's no point in refereeing. A referee should not be reffing games if they make such a big mistake, and that's one of the talking points of the first half. Is the worst. I put shocking penalty decision for that, but it's not even that shocking. It's not a shocking penalty decision. It's a disgraceful penalty decision. The foul from Rico Lewis. The penalty for North Macedonia was never a penalty in a million years, and the referee, you could clearly tell the referee's lack of experience. If the referee's more experienced, he probably doesn't give that a penalty. But because it's one of his first games, he's like, oh, I have to make the North Macedonia fans happy, and I'll give them a stupid penalty, even if I don't think it's a penalty. And the ref had a shocking game. But we'll get to that. We'll talk more about that in the second half. Notes. And finally, overall, a much better team performance in the first half of the game against Macedonia compared to the whole of the Malta game. It was the perfect first half, bar the worst penalty decision ever. And going into the second half, because of that penalty, we went into half-time at 1-0. But we did well in the second half to get a draw. Speaking of the second half, Kane made the difference. Comes on, and seconds later we equalise and go on to draw the game 1-0. Pot 1 to place secured. We're going to be in pot 1 for the draw, which means a better chance of getting a much easier group for next summer's tournament. And an overall great team performance throughout the game. Great team performance throughout the game, only ruined by bad refereeing. He gave fouls that shouldn't have been fouls. He didn't give fouls that should have been fouls. But yeah, he gave fouls that shouldn't have been fouls, and he didn't give fouls that should have been fouls. He should have sent one of the North Macedonia players off. The yellow card that Rico Lewis was a disgrace, never a penalty. So yeah, great team performance, but ruined throughout the game, but ruined by bad refereeing, and that's not great. You don't want to see a game ruined by bad refereeing. I have a few words though to the referee. If you ever make a mistake like that again, people are going to come at you, because that penalty that you gave was never a penalty. So the referee of the North Macedonia game, screw you, you suck. Screw you suck. And that's period. He sucks, and that's period. But enough about the referee and enough about the game overall. Let's go to the important part. The reason why I like to do these reviews. My ratings. We're going to go from low to high. So, with fives out of 10. Cole Palmer, Calvin Phillips, and Marcus Rashford, who all came off the bench, and Harry Maguire. With sixes out of 10. Carl Walker and Ollie Watkins. With 7s out of 10. Grealish, Saka, Kane, Trent, Rice. With 8 out of 10. Jordan Pickford. And with 9 out of 10, my man of the match, the official man of the match, the debutant, the 18, well, when he played the game, the 18-year-old Rico Lewis, who's now 19 after he had his birthday yesterday. So happy birthday to Rico Lewis for yesterday. He's now 19. He's 1 year away from the end of his teenage years. Great. But yeah, great. Hope you had a great birthday yesterday, Rico Lewis. And hopefully you had a great birthday, Rico Lewis. Happy birthday for yesterday, and hope you had a great time. And finally, overall game rating. This review's been going on for long. Overall, the rating out of 10 for the game for England's performance against North Macedonia is a very good 9 out of 10. It would be a 10 out of 10 if we got the result. But that will be it for this video. Subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell to get all of these videos. And before we leave, I'm going to go through the ratings of my ratings and my player ratings and my overall game rating one more time. Jordan Pickford 8, Rico Lewis 9, my man of the match. Mark Gahey 7, Maguire 5, Rice 6, Walker 6, Rice 7, Trent 7, Foden 8. Oh, Foden also got an 8, by the way. Sorry, I forgot to mention Foden. Foden also got an 8. Jack Grealish 7. Ollie Watkins 6, Saka 7, Palmer 5, Phillips 5, Rashford 5, Kane at 7. Overall game rating 9 out of 10. So those are the ratings one more time. Until my next video, I'm out. Subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell to catch up with all my upcoming videos, including my Premier League predictions, which are coming out, with my Premier League predictions that are coming out tomorrow, which includes a big game at lunchtime on Saturday between my team, Manchester City, and the boys in red, Liverpool, at the Etihad. But until my Premier League predictions tomorrow, until my Premier League predictions tomorrow and other future videos, I'm out. This has been Jonah O'Brien. One more time, subscribe to the channel, click the subscribe to catch up with all my latest videos. Until tomorrow, and until tomorrow in the near future, I'm out. Peace, bye, and have a good rest of your